probably heard about forgiveness. But when people talk about forgiveness, they talk about, especially when you are healing, to forgive others. I think that it's important for us to forgive ourselves. It's important for us to forgive our younger selves for not knowing what we know now, for doing the best that we could, that we knew how to in the moment. It's really important for us to forgive ourselves. That forgiving of ourselves, of that part of ourselves, not just forgiving myself now at the age and where I am now, but really thinking back at your 25-year-old self, at your 17-year-old self, your 9-year-old self, your 5-year-old self, for these things that we often blame ourselves for. We take things very personally, just in general. And when something doesn't go our way, it's when someone leaves us, when someone rejects us, whether it's a family member, whether it's friends, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, we take it very personally. We think that, oh, there is something wrong with me. It was me. I'm the person to blame for the relationship not working out. Like, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't beautiful enough, sexy enough. I wasn't interesting enough. I wasn't lovable enough. The relationships that we allow in our lives is based on what we think of ourselves, how we think of ourselves, how we see ourselves, what we believe about ourselves. And so if we allow an abusive relationship into our life, it is because of how we perceive ourselves, of what we think of ourselves. It is important for us to then, now where we are, where you are today, to forgive yourself. Like, that is how I was feeling about myself then, right? I was in pain. And it was a pattern that stemmed from this, right? From what happened in my childhood, from what I was told, from what I believe. And so that's why I made that decision, right? Because that's what I believed then. And so now where I am today, especially if you are healing, make amends with your younger self and forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. I believe that it's a journey. Healing is a journey. Life is a journey. Burning. I encourage you, take a few moments to think back at times in your life, experiences where you felt ashamed, embarrassed, guilty, where you just have this strong emotion come up. As those emotions come up, right, it's like we are reliving them, right? And that's why our mind is very powerful, because if we think about these situations, right, like our ex-boyfriend cheating on us, or like this really intense moment in our lives, it's our body relives that. So rather than feed it more thought, right, and rather than like, oh yes, I was a bad person, or oh yes, I deserved that, or of course, like, he didn't love me, I was not beautiful enough, of course, like, look at my body, it's not, doesn't look like hers, or like, right, rather than feeding it more thought and creating just this bigger emotion. And I think that's when we feel like we have no control over our emotions, like our emotions are like taking over because we just keep feeding it. So rather than doing that, just think back at the moment, at the circumstance that happened, at the event that happened. And as those emotions come up, right, like, don't feed it more thought, don't add more story to it, right? Allow that emotion to come up. That, like, for me, a lot of my emotions happen right here in my chest. With sadness, regret, shame, guilt. When it comes up, witness it. And just, whether it's closing your eyes, whether it's touching, the body part that where you feel it, where the emotion is happening, just allow this emotion, which is energy, allow the energy to be there and just witness it. For me, something that's very helpful, because your girl lives up here. So something that's helpful is for me to close my eyes. So do this maybe, and then you can you can do it with your eyes open, but for me it helps to close my eyes and to picture all of this energy that's happening up here, because that's what thoughts are also, right? Like it takes energy to think these thoughts. So there's a lot of energy right here when I start thinking a lot, when I start just being in my head. So I picture this energy that's happening up here, and I bring it down. Like I bring it down. So I bring my awareness to my body, right? And so I picture this blank slate, like nothing's happening up here, and then my awareness, my attention is now shifted from up here, right? Because I was listening to the thoughts, I was paying attention to the thoughts, I was adding more thoughts. And so I bring my intention, my focus, my awareness to my body, to where I am experiencing the emotion, right? And so as you bring up those memories, those times of feeling ashamed, feeling not worthy, feeling not lovable, feeling not good enough, feeling embarrassed, feeling regretful, like, and choose one at a time, because this is a really powerful exercise, is so choose one at a time and allow that emotion to just be, and just witness it, and just experience that sensation in your body. And then just for me, what's very helpful for me is to just see it, to follow it, like what's it doing, like where is the sensation going. So it started really strong right here, and it travels, and it travels, and then I feel it in my throat, and then sensation is there, like it burns, like it stings, and then it travels, right? And so I'm seeing it, I'm following it, and then I picture it just kind of like floating away, dissipating away, right? You can picture something like that. You can picture it burning, right? Like I said, it just burns away, just right? Like that is your opportunity when these emotions come up, rather than feeding it more thought, rather than pushing it away, rather than rejecting it. It's your opportunity to heal your body, your awareness, and like this higher version of you is bringing this up so that you can resolve it, so that you can move on from it, so that you can heal from it. And many people, again, we take this personally. We take what has happened personally. And so it's very scary for a lot of people to bring this up, because it is going to bring up those personal, right? Like beliefs, like I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not deserving, I'm a bad person. But don't attach any of that to it. Just allow the sensation to be, allow the sensation to just leave, move on from it. It's layers, like an onion. There are layers, right? So this can and will probably come up again, especially if it's something that was really painful to you, that was really impactful to you, it's something that you've been carrying for years. It will come up, right? And that's where triggers, like that's where like we're triggered, because something that we haven't dealt with, that we haven't overcome, that we haven't processed is still lingering there. And so triggers are our opportunity to move through them, to let go of them, to release this stuck energy. And that's you releasing stuck energy. That's what all of that means, right? Is when you're triggered, rather than adding thought to it, adding more story to it, rather than pushing it or eating so that you don't feel this emotion, so that you feel, full and uncomfortable right here in your gut, rather than feeling it in your heart, in your chest, or whatever it is. Like triggers are opportunity for releasing stuck energy. And so as you're triggered, pay attention, like, oh shit, like it hits me right here, what that person just said, what that person just did. It's like other people are a reflection of what's going on internally, right? It's got nothing to do with what that person said. It's got nothing to do with that person yelling. It's got nothing to do with anyone outside of me. It's like, it's something, the world is mirroring what's happening internally. And so it's an opportunity. Our triggers are our opportunity to release that, to to elevate, right? To upgrade. Like, you know, when you think of it like a game, right? It is like we are being given a gift. And it is this opportunity, if we take this gift and if we use it to release stuck energy, it's like, think of Mario. It's like we elevate, we grow, we move on to the next level. And that is life. And so I encourage you to think of triggers as gifts that your higher self is giving you, so that you can move on, so that you can go to the next level, so that you can surpass this. And it's through that. It's like through feeling what's happening, not attaching your worth, your identity to it, and know that it's gonna feel uncomfortable. Like, it's gonna feel uncomfortable, and that's why many people prefer to just like have this stuck energy, is because it's uncomfortable to relive that sensation that we attached ourselves to. And so I hope that's helpful to you. Look for those triggers and see them as gifts, and begin to release this stuck energy and begin to continue to elevate in your life. And again, when we begin to release the stuck energy, we make more room, right? And what we're making room for is for what we desire in our lives, right? Because now I do feel worthy, right? Because I let go of this emotion, this stuck energy that I identified with, that told me that I was not lovable, that told me that I was not worthy, that I was not good enough, that I'm a bad person. And so when you burn through that, right, you make room, and you begin, your body, like all of you, begins to believe that you are worthy. And so you begin to attract what it is that you want, because you truly believe that you are worthy, right? So that's how we begin to create what we want, attract what we want in our lives. Love, success, whatever success means to you, family, peace, safety, security, experiences, love, more fun, more joy in life, right? The courage to speak up, the courage to use our voice, the courage to be seen, to stand up for what we believe, right? More self-love, more self-compassion, and then, you know, love and compassion for other human beings, right? That is what we are opening ourselves to when we choose to release the stuck energy. I love you. Let's go get triggered.